Good evening. We are thankful that you took time to be here with us, and we are excited to be able to present this information to you in this format. Before we get going with this evening's agenda, we wanted to let you know that we will be recording this session, and we will provide a link following the session so that you may go back and rewatch something, or pass this along to others who weren't able to attend this evening. There will also be time for live question and answers at the end. So if you think of a question during the presentation, please either hold your question to the end or share your question in the chat box, and we will provide answers in live time. My name is Lauren Drizzt. I am an AVID District Director for Pinellas County Schools. I am joined by Hannah Graziano, and the other members of our AVID team are also here tonight. So why are we here? Our goal tonight is to share with you a little about what AVID is, how your student was identified, the benefits of being in the AVID elective in 9th grade, and some outcomes you can expect from being a part of AVID. You are going to hear about how AVID is a college readiness system that takes students with the potential and determination to go to college and supports their academic success in rigorous coursework to make four-year college or other post-secondary aspirations a reality. We also know that the aftermath of COVID has presented its own set of challenges for both teaching and learning. Because of that, we have reached out to a broader group of students to offer the support of AVID to make sure that they stay on the path to college readiness and success. You might be wondering what AVID is. In Pinellas County, we offer the AVID elective at all of our middle and high schools to ensure that all students, particularly those middle students with the academic potential and determination, successfully complete the college prep pathway. This means they will enroll in advanced, honors, and college-level courses, increasing their enrollment opportunities in four-year colleges or universities. Later in this presentation, you will hear in depth about what occurs in the AVID elective, but I wanted to share a few of the things you can expect from being a part of the AVID elective. Students will be taught skills and behaviors for academic success. AVID teachers have been trained specifically in the effective instructional strategies to help students build these skills over time. Students' academic mindsets will be fostered through high expectations, inquiry-based, student-centered curriculum, and individual determination. Students will create a strong student-teacher and student-to-student relationships that will support their post-secondary goals. AVID students come from diverse cultures, languages, and backgrounds. It is this diversity that positively impacts the trajectory of students' lives. We know that numbers have an important story to tell. AVID ensures college readiness and improved academic performance for all AVID elective students. You can see the data here applies to the Florida graduating AVID class of 2021. 100% of AVID seniors graduated from their respective high schools with an average college-bound GPA of 3.5, while the graduation rate for all students statewide was 90%. 94% of AVID graduates completed four-year college entrance requirements, while 79% of those AVID graduates applied to a four-year college or university, and 72% of them were accepted. When looking at this data, we need to be mindful that it was from the graduating class of 2021, the first full school year after COVID. Prior years have seen graduating classes with 100% of students applying to a four-year college or university and a 75% acceptance rate. These results don't happen by accident. AVID has a research-based curriculum with highly trained staff to deliver that curriculum. As a result, AVID students can stretch themselves with the courses they take, all while having the support of the AVID elective and the tutorial process to ensure success. Here's something else to consider when looking at data. We know many students apply to college and many students get accepted into college. But how many make it to their second year of college? How many students graduate from college in 4 years? When you look at the college-going population as a whole, the college acceptance rate and the college graduation rate are vastly different. And this is something AVID recognizes. That is why a major focus in AVID is building persistence. Persistence is a huge factor when talking about a college-going culture. The goal for AVID elective students is not to just apply and be accepted into college, it's to graduate from college. 76% of first-time freshmen in the fall of 2018 returned to college for their second year. You can see that persistent rates for AVID students are much higher than the national average, at 88%. This is an important aspect to keep in mind when realizing the dreams of attending a four-year university and graduating from that university. Now I'm going to turn it over to Hannah, who will take a deeper look into AVID.
So now that you have some understanding of the goal of AVID and the student outcomes that result from being a part of the AVID elective over time, you may be wondering how your student was identified for such an amazing opportunity. Your child was likely identified for one of or more of the reasons on this screen, but now it is up to you and your family to decide if AVID is the right fit for you. Just take a moment to reflect on what you see on the slide. Whether you are a parent who graduated from college or someone who wants your child to have college opportunities that you didn't have yourself, AVID is the support for navigating the college-going process. AVID ensures that students are counseled for coursework that will allow them to be accepted into a four-year university starting in the 6th grade. AVID students also spend time each year finding out about different universities so they are able to find that right fit school by the time that they graduate. Along the way, they will learn about college financial reality and receive support for the application process itself. So what actually happens in the AVID elective? There are 5 standards in the AVID elective. These are the standards that are woven through all 7 years of AVID, but students can enter the AVID elective at any point without being behind. Each standard is delivered in a meaningful way based on the current grade level, meaning that they are age appropriate. Each year, students will build upon the previous year. For example, students in the AVID elective will build career knowledge. This means that they will have opportunities to explore career options and different career pathways, and then set the pace for possible courses that they need to take to prepare for that career. In addition, students will build skills around college preparedness, meaning that they will learn about goal setting, how to finance college, including scholarship research. They will prepare for ACT and SAT. They will also do things like take college entrance exams with the support of their AVID teacher along the way. Students will also be exposed to different strategies that will allow them to be successful in rigorous coursework. They will build writing to learn strategies. They will engage in inquiry-based activities in the classroom. They'll learn to collaborate with others. They will learn to organize both their materials and their time and get reading to learn strategies that will most definitely help them be successful in all of the rigorous courses that they will take on their pathway to college. The last standard that is built in is leadership with others. This means that students will engage in community projects, both on campus and off, and build those leadership skills through the lessons that they engage in daily and also with their peers. Students will essentially build 21st century skills that will help them become more well-rounded. We will talk about social emotional awareness. They'll build relationships not only with their peers, but with other adults on campus. They'll learn to advocate for themselves. They'll engage in extracurricular activities that will make them a best fit candidate for a 4-year university. To give you a little more detail about what those standards look like and how AVID supports the college-going pathway, we want to make sure that you understand what each student will do in the AVID elective. All AVID elective students will take advanced coursework. So in high school, that means that students will take pre-AP, AP, dual enrollment, and ACE courses, which are all college-level courses. Students will focus on getting their acceptance into college through scholarship searches, college searches, and then get application support and get backward planning to get into the university or college of their choice. Students will engage twice a week with a college student in a tutorial process that will support the rigorous coursework that they're doing outside of the AVID elective. This means that each student's needs will be addressed twice a week in an inquiry-based collaboration so that they can grapple with challenging content and be successful in those courses. AVID students will also go on field trips to explore different colleges so that they can find the right fit college or university for them. AVID in high school is an elective course that will be part of your child's daily schedule. AVID is separate from and in addition to any other programs your student may take part in on their campus. As a result, most students in a district application program can take the AVID elective. If your child receives ESE services, they will continue to do so in whatever way their IEP or EP states. Here on the screen, you can see our contact information. If you have questions about your student who's transitioning from middle school to high school, you can feel free to email me, Hannah Graziano, and the email is on the slide. You can also scan this QR code if you are interested in applying for the AVID elective today. If this is a decision you need to speak more with your family to make sure that this is the right decision for you, you can also find this application on the district website on the AVID homepage. We're going to turn it over now to some questions and answers. So if you have questions, please type them in the chat and we can answer them in live time.
Hannah, this first question is for you. Can a student who will be in the IB program have AVID as an elective?
That's a great question about IB. So students that are accepted into the IB program at one of our 3 diploma program schools will not have the opportunity to take part in the AVID elective because of the schedule that they have daily. There isn't an AVID elective, there isn't a space in their schedule for students to take the AVID elective. But the good news about the IB diploma program is that these same skills and college preparatory talk occurs in all IB classrooms as well. So there's actually not a need for an IB student to sit in the AVID elective.
This next question is for Lauren. How does AVID work with gifted in high school?
So that's a really great question. So gifted in high school, unlike in middle school, is not a specific elective. There are some additional opportunities for students after school, I believe, but AVID works as an academic support. So if your student has currently been or is currently receiving gifted services as they move into high school, AVID might actually be a really great fit for them because it continues to give them that academic support as they start taking on those more rigorous high school classes and move into college coursework.
This next question is for Lauren as well. Must you also request AVID 1 on your course request to be formally accepted into the program? Where can that be found?
Such a great question. So there's getting into AVID or getting into the AVID elective is a 2-step process. The first step is to scan that QR code that we had up on the screen. or to visit the PCSB website and apply using the online form. Once you have applied using the online form, when it comes time for your student to select their classes for their 9th grade year, they will also need to choose AVID 1 as one of their electives. So it is a 2-part process, and it is important that you do both. If AVID is something that you are interested in, we highly recommend filling out that application tonight as part of this presentation. It doesn't commit you to AVID, but it does let the school know that it is something that you're interested in, so that when your 9th grade student or rising 9th grade student meets with their counselor, they can have that conversation about what AVID looks like at their school, how it will fit into their schedule, and really help that student customize their 9th grade experience.
This next question is for Hannah. College isn't for everyone. How does AVID prepare students for life and success after school, not just college?
It's a great question about college. So AVID is a college and career support class. So as I mentioned, one of the standards that is covered in all grade levels of AVID is exploring different career opportunities and then backward planning from there around the coursework that would be most appropriate to put you on the proper pathway to that career and success in that career. We know that not all students are college bound immediately following high school, so AVID provides the skill set and builds skills in students for them to have the option upon leaving high school to either be career bound or college bound. And if they make a change at one point that they enter the career field and want to go back to college, they have that skill set to fall back on.
Lauren, this next question is for you. How is the AVID elective different when you take it as a freshman and as a senior?
So AVID does progress throughout high school. In the earlier grades, like 9th and 10th grade, you're focusing on exploring colleges and careers, but there's also a great focus on staying organized, making sure that you are staying on top of your classes, checking your grades, and doing some progress monitoring. Throughout all grade levels, we do have that tutorial process, but especially as a student who's entering into high school courses, maybe for the first time, if they didn't get the opportunity to take a high school course in their 8th grade year, those tutorials can be a great support to make that transition from middle to high school. As students start to move into their junior and senior year, there's more focus on writing your college essays, how to fill out those applications, what sort of financial aid is available, and how you can apply for those scholarships. There's also a push for more college field trips and more opportunities to explore campuses either virtually or in person.
Our next question is for Hannah. Is the AVID elective a specific class, or is it a program woven within the courses the student takes at school?
Okay, so AVID is an elective course that will be part of your daily schedule. And then depending on the school that you go to, the AVID strategies where we build those skills may be woven very much into different courses that they take. But the AVID elective is part of your daily schedule and is separate from the other core coursework or other electives that you take.
Our next question is for Lauren. Is this an elective that is taken each year through high school or once during their high school career?
Good question. So this is taken throughout, or can be taken, I should say, each year in high school. So there is an AVID elective class for 9th grade, a separate one for 10th grade, a separate one for 11th grade, and then a separate one for 12th grade. So students can enter the program at any time during high school. If you join in 10th grade, you won't be behind. You'll join the 10th grade class with your 10th grade peers and so forth and so on for all of the grade levels. So it is something that students can choose to take all 4 years or choose to take the AVID elective, try it out, see if it's a good fit.
Hannah, this question is for you. How many advanced courses are required?
That is a good question. So we have different expectations depending on your grade level. So when you enter as a freshman, we expect that you will take at least one honors, pre-AP, pre-ACE course. And then in 10th grade, we want you to build upon the rigor that you took the year before. So in 10th grade, we will expect 2 honors, pre-ACE, or pre-AP, thank you, courses. And then junior year, as we continue to bump the level of rigor in the schedule, we will then expect 1 college course over the course of the year. And that could be an AP course, it could be an ACE course, it could be a dual enrollment course in each semester. And then senior year, again, building on that rigor, students will take 2 college level courses for the entire year. So that by time you graduate, you will have a minimum of 3 college courses on your high school transcript.
Lauren, this question is for you. If I am going to Richard O. Jacobson Tech High, am I still able to take AVID? Do they have that elective there?
That is a really good question. At this time, Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School does not have the AVID elective. It is offered at our other 16 traditional high schools, however.
Hannah, this question is for you. Can a student do dual enrollment and AVID at the same time?
Yes. Students will actually be expected to take a college level course, and dual enrollment might be one of those options. So as long as it is a dual enrollment course while you are a full-time high school student. AVID no longer is an option for students who enter the early college or early admissions programs, which are also considered dual enrollment. But if you are a full-time student on your campus, yes, dual enrollment is one of the rigorous course options available to AVID students.
Our next question is for Lauren. How does AVID work with the variety of district application programs in the district?
So for the majority of our district application programs, there will be room in the student's schedule for them to take AVID as one of their electives. Now, we do have a number of district application programs, so if you are interested in your program specifically, I would encourage you to contact the school and the counselor for that specific program to get more information about whether or not students that are in that program can fit AVID into their schedule as an elective. As I said, in most cases, that is possible, but it's nice to check and kind of have that peace of mind to know.
Hannah, we had to turn in the 9th grade choices today. What if we want to add AVID and remove something else?
Well, that's exciting to hear first, but it is okay that your course request sheet has already been turned in. Nothing at this point is set in stone. So that's why this application, completing the application tonight, is a really important step. Next week, we will take those applications and make sure that each school has the applicants who wanted to be in the AVID elective to make sure that that then gets placed as their first choice AVID elective, and it will potentially override something else that you had. So you won't need to do anything with that course request sheet, as your application will be forwarded on to the school of your choice.
Lauren, is it better to choose AVID now, and if it isn't a good fit, we can elect to drop later in the year or the next?
That is a good question. And I will say that this is really dependent on the student and the student's interests. I of course, am a bit biased and will say, yes, choose AVID right now. But I will say that there are benefits to taking AVID at each grade level. Each grade level does tend to focus on something a little bit different. For example, in 10th grade, you're exploring more career options. And then as an 11th grader, it focuses more on those college applications and college essay writing. So there are benefits to taking it all 4 years. It is a little bit more college application and college and career preparedness focused, I would say, probably in the later years. But like I said, in the earlier years, it can help with that transition from middle to high school. So I would say that's a good conversation to have with your student and see where they feel like they may need the most support.
Hannah, how would AVID work if a student wanted to graduate earlier than 4 years?
Great question. Sometimes we do have AVID students that graduate early, and that's not a problem. Students would still be placed in the AVID elective that is appropriate to their grade level, and then if they graduate early, they just don't take that 4th year of AVID if they're graduating in 3 years. And we would be excited for that student who is graduating early and hopefully onto a career or college of their choice. So it should not impact early graduation.
Lauren, can a student be an AVID and the AP Capstone program?
Oh, I'm so glad you brought up the AP Capstone program. So for those who don't know, the AP Capstone program is a program that involves taking 2 specific AP electives, and those are the AP Seminar and AP Research classes. Those are typically taken by our 10th through 12th graders. There is also a special diploma that students can earn if they take those 2 AP courses, as well as any other 4, and they take the tests for those courses and earn qualifying scores. So for our AVID students, AP Capstone does pair very nicely because not only is AVID an academic support that helps students to grow those skills that are so important for AP Capstone, the writing to learn and the reading to learn, the collaboration, the inquiry, but for our AVID students in their 11th and 12th grade year, part of their requirements as an AVID student is to be in rigorous coursework. And those AP Capstone courses count as rigorous courses. So we encourage students to go ahead and explore both AVID and AP Capstone, as well as any of our other advanced placement courses.
Lauren, this next question is for you as well. Does the AVID class meet 5 days a week or 2 days a week, and then the student would have 3 days of a free period?
Good question. So the AVID class would meet 5 days a week. The exception to that would be if your student is on a block schedule, at which point they would follow their block schedule, and they may meet 2 times a week, but for or 2 or 3 times a week, I should say, but for longer periods of time, those schools with 90-minute blocks as opposed to 45-minute blocks. So I think that may have been, there may have been some confusion over the tutorial process. So within the AVID elective, the curriculum is set up to be a 5-day-a-week curriculum. 2 days of the week are reserved for tutorials, which are something really special to the AVID elective. This is a chance for students to bring any things that they're confused about, we call them points of confusion, from their other academic classes and have a chance to collaborate and work with their peers, as well as potentially other older high school students who act as tutors, or college students who act as tutors that come to the school for those specific 2 days. So that tutorial process happens 2 days a week. The other 3 days a week that a student is in an AVID elective class, they're using that time to work through the AVID curriculum, which includes growing those writing to learn skills, participating in inquiry-based and collaborative activities, helping them stay organized and track their grades. And those students also use that time to explore colleges and careers and build up some of those 21st century skills to help them feel empowered to make academic choices. So AVID is definitely a full-time elective. It is not a study hall. It is not a free period on the days that are not tutorials.
Hannah, this question is for you. Is AVID similar to the ACE Cambridge program?
So AVID is a support potentially to the ACE Cambridge program. So the ACE Cambridge program, if we're referring to the diploma program, again, is offered at one of our 3 ACE diploma program schools. Most often, ACE diploma students, much like IB diploma students, don't take the AVID elective for 2 reasons. One, it doesn't necessarily fit in their schedule because of the strict scheduling requirements of an ACE diploma student. And also, just like IB, the skills and the college preparedness is built into the college coursework of the ACE diploma program. So it's important to note that AVID is an elective built into the school days to support rigorous courses, but it typically does not align with our 2 diploma programs, the IB diploma program and the ACE diploma program.
Lauren, this question is for you. If AVID is an elective, is it graded? What if they fall behind in some way?
This is a really great question. AVID is a graded course. And if students were to fall behind, if their GPA starts slipping, or if their grades start falling in their AVID class or in their other academic classes, then the AVID teacher would work with the student and their family to have the student work on a success plan. This is where students can set goals for themselves about how many higher grades they want during a semester or how they want their GPA to improve over the course of a semester. AVID is a really great way to help students stay on track because the AVID teacher, as we mentioned before, is specially trained. And that AVID teacher really does take part in helping students to progress monitor and keep track of those grades. So they'll communicate often with the student about how they're doing in their other classes as well as how they're doing in the AVID elective and help them stay on track.
Okay, that is all the questions we have for this evening.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us tonight and for asking such wonderful questions. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are happy to continue taking questions through email. And of course, we encourage you, if AVID sounds like it might be a good fit for your student, to go ahead and use that QR code and apply. Thank you again, and have a wonderful evening.